well, you should be moving. Those of you on visitors visa, someone asked me last time on comment section of this YouTube channel that, Milton, should I carry enough food? Look, if you are on visitors visa or a student, you will go and be eating in Canada. Stop. Now, as an international student who wants to migrate abroad, I want to draw your attention to the fact that this channel is solely about migration. And if you think that you need more information about study abroad opportunities, please book a one-on-one session with me from the video description box so that I can contact you on a direct call. Then we talk from there during my free times. I am not that free, guys. When you arrive the airport in Canada, you are going to be asked some questions. Now, these questions are not questions to threaten you, but rather these are questions to make sure or to enable the officers, all right, understand the purpose of you entry into Canada. Now, you are going to be interviewed by some officers. The officers are for the Canadian Border Service Control. All right, they are going to ask you a couple of questions depending if you are a student, if you are a visitor, if you are a permanent resident, if you are going to be sponsored by your parents, your uncle, your wife, your father, your siblings, your husband, or your wife. Now, like I said, these questions are pure questions that no matter how hard you get, you should make sure you know how to respond to these questions. And I'm going to be telling you how you are going to respond to these various questions depending on how you are asked. I will give you a series of questions that you may be asked at the point of entry. Remember that even if you have a visa to study in Canada, to visit Canada, to stay in Canada permanently, you are still not in Canada. Therefore, you need to answer a couple of questions at the point of entry before you can be given access into Canada. And these people that are going to interrogate you from the border service. Now, if you are going to be studying in Canada, you should know which school you are going to attend. Don't step foot at the airport in Canada, in Ottawa, in Toronto, in Vancouver, or wheresoever without knowing the name of your school, without knowing the province in which the school is, without knowing the address of the school, without knowing the course in which you are going to study. It is very vital information. If you fail to give these details, then you are actually telling the officers that you actually do not even know why you are moving into the country. It is very essential for you as an international student to know all of these things. The next question you may encounter if you are going on a study permit or a student visa is, who is going to be your sponsor or who is sponsoring you? In this case, I want to draw your attention to the fact that you may equally need to supply documents, follow-up documents. So make sure every document you use during your application shouldn't be thrown away. It is very essential for you to keep every detail because, like I said, these are critical questions. If you joke with these border officials, they might just package you back. I hope you understand what I mean by package you back. So please make sure you give them the necessary questions. Answer the questions, who is going to be sponsoring you. The same questions you use for your visa application, you shouldn't lie about the situation. Please, if you said before that you are going to be sponsoring yourself from your business, then you should be able to maintain the same energy. It is very, very essential. If you change your language, then that is where you are dancing a different music. Now, let's assume that you are going to be moving in with a visitor's visa. Then you may be asked, what is your purpose of visit to Canada? Now, you may answer this as, I am coming to Canada to study a this program in this college or university located in this province. This is how you speak and you convince the officials to make them understand that you actually know why you are moving into the country. If you are visiting Canada, then you have to make them understand that you are coming in for tourism purposes. All right, that's a visitor's visa. Now, where will you be visiting? If you are answering these places, you should know that you need to make them understand that you actually know where you are going. And of course, you need to tell them where you will be visiting. All right, at least tell them one location Are you going to visit Niagara Falls? Are you going to visit the Toronto City Tower? You have to make them understand, or Parliament Hill. You need to make them understand all of this stuff. Then, how long do you plan to study? This is another question that might just follow up. All right, if you are a student, if you are a visitor, all right, they might ask you such questions, but I think those on permanent residence visa may not encounter such situation, so you have to pay attention to this. It is very, very important. Another question that, and when they ask you how where will you be visiting, you give them examples. Of course, if you are applying for a visitor's visa, you should know. If you are coming on a conference visa, you should know the place where you are going to have that conference, because you might be asked. Okay, then how many days will you be staying? We will have to tell them, if you are on visitor's visa, the number of days you will be staying in Canada, and equally let them understand the number of days you will be staying if you are on a conference visa. If you are on a student permit, you need to tell them the number of years or months your program is going to last in Canada. Where will you be staying? This is a very critical component of your application, or for the questions they will be asking you. Yes, they must be, at least, even if they don't want to ask you all these questions I'm giving, they should be able to ask you these questions. And those of you coming in with a visitor's visa, please make sure before you go, I always say this and I will say it again, make sure you have your payment of your hotel. All right, if you are going to be staying in a hotel with the other officials of the conference, make sure you provide that, or you give them the location. All right, they have to ask you where will you be staying, you have to tell them the place that you will be staying. And they might ask you where will you be staying if you are coming as a student as well. But those of you going in on visitors visa and conferences, or let's say tourism and visitor, or let's say visitor visa, either a conference or for tourism, then you should be able to answer this question and give the address. You can just sort out a paper from your pocket or maybe from your bag and read out the address and give them the name of the institution. This is going to show them that you actually booked the place, and tell them you have booked already. They might even ask you to give them this document to check. All right, it is very, very important. Now, if you are on a visitor's visa, you might be asked to show proof of your return ticket. They might ask you, did you pay your ticket, your return ticket? Then you cannot say yes, only paid a return ticket, since you are not going to be staying for too long. At least if you add this statement, it makes them further convinced that you are going to leave the country after your stay, your duration of stay, or let's say the time you indicated that you want to stay. We already know now, of course. Una know already say Tunde no fi come back again if he enter that place. Not be so oga. So now so the thing there. So of course they are going to ask you such information. Then they might ask you, do you have enough funds, and can you prove to them? They might ask you if you have enough funds. International students going for study purposes, these questions might not be that serious, but if you are going on a visitor's visa, I would encourage you to always have at least $500 in your pocket. Not $500, $1,000 in your pocket. At least if it's more, then fine. I don't know how much you can carry and pass an airport, but you must be able to show proof again that you can withdraw money at any time from your account. Remember, you told them that you have money during the application stage, so you need to show proof that if you have your credit cards, hold them on you. Then equally show proof that the bank account belongs to you, and of course, or if it's your sponsor, then you should be able to explain all of this. They want to know all of that. All right, proof of funds is very important, and enough funds is very important. They want visitors, of course. They want you to come in and spend some money. If you are renting their hotels, you have to pay for money. If you are living in Airbnb, of course you have to pay for that. Stuff like that really do matter. All right, then they might ask you, are you alone or you are traveling with other people? Do you have someone to pick you up at the airport? Then you would then explain to them who is coming to pick you, or if there is nobody coming to pick you, then that is great. Now they may ask you, what do you do in your home country, in case they notice that you are a visitor and you are visiting. All right, Remember, saying the truth at all the time or always is going to save you a lot of problems. All right, tell them exactly what you do in your home country and tell them that you are just for visit, and after that you will return back home. Then that is fine. Remember, these people have the right to deport you back to your home country if you are trying to claim certain things. All right, then they might ask you again, have you ever been to Canada before? Now this is a question you have to respond to very well, because they assume that if you have been to Canada before, you should be able to know where you visited in Canada, or where you stayed, or where you came to in Canada, or where you were living when you were in Canada. And if you have never been to Canada, then you have to explain to them that you have never been there. All right, because if you say you have been there, of course they know, they will be saying your details from your system. If you've been there, they will see it. You have not been there, they will see it. So don't even worry, don't try to lie. All right, because like I told you, if you try it, you will just go home empty handed. Then they might ask you these very critical questions: that if you are a student, how do you intend to take care of your tuition fee for the second year? You can now just tell them that your business is going to supply you, or you have enough funds in your account already, that before that time you would pay your tuition fee using the funds and the balance from business, or your profits coming in from your business. And of course, these are your business documents to prove that. But always just tell them that you have enough funds in your account already. They might ask you, they might want to know how much is there. You tell them that this is what is there. You show them your bank statement. So it's very important to take all these documents alongside you. Remember, it depends on who is asking you the questions. Some people may be hard, very hard or strict, while others may not be like that. We have these people, this category in our society, but you do not have to be scared. All right, in as much as you plan yourself well, you should be moving. Those of you on visitors visa, someone asked me last time on comment section of this YouTube channel that, Milton, should I carry enough food? Look, if you are on visitors visa or a student, you will go and be eating in Canada. Stop all this your thing of carrying enough food. You want to go and be feeding people, you have the right. Especially you on a visitors visa, please, you need to carry just a small bag. All right, just take just a small bag to tell these people that you are not coming to stay in here for long. All right, we already know now. Esther will, we know now. Let me not say it. So you have to be able to convince them that you will not be staying for long. If you are carrying big luggages of food, all right, maybe kilograms of food and big bags, for what are you coming to do? If you are telling them that you are going to live for 7 days in here, what are you going to be doing with those big bags? That is a point of suspect. Don't give the immigration reasons to doubt what you are saying. All right, it's very important. So guys, put this into consideration till we meet again in another video. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Till we meet again, bye bye.